I'm going to be completely honest with you guys. Up until now, I wasn't completely confident that Derek could come in and actually win that second title. But if you really want to solidify yourself as a true champion of the Olympia, and I really do believe this, you want to be solidified as a true champion, gotta win too. What's going on, you guys? Welcome back to EP09. Alright, welcome back everybody. Welcome back to the channel for yet another news update for this week. We're on a roll this week, and let me tell you, we've got some very exciting stories for this episode. We're going to start this one off with an update from HorseMD. So we actually have a show announcement here from HorseMD after a very successful pro debut in the open class when it comes to the IFBB Pro League. This guy had such high expectations going into the IFBB Pro League, and I think it's safe to say that he mainly delivered on those expectations overall. So we're going to look at the announcement here, and then we'll talk about the show, but let's check it out. So look, I definitely don't speak Portuguese, but thank God for Google Translator on YouTube. We've got HorseMD sitting down with Ramon Dino here, who is giving him a little bit of a hard time about announcing his next show. Fairly scripted, I'm sure. But look, the fact of the matter is, we do get a show announcement here from HorseMD. And actually, Ramon Dino says that if he reveals which show it is that he's going to do, that Ramon Dino is going to show his physique in an upcoming video, which we haven't seen anything yet from HorseMD. But here it is right here. Check it out. Romania. Ladies and gentlemen, the Romania Pro will be the next show that we see HorseMD Marcello DeAngeles compete in. And we saw him very successfully come in and place third at the 2023 Romania, right behind Samson Dauda, right behind Behruz Tabani, both of which are probably going to be top. Well, we know Samson's going to be a top 5 guy for sure. But Behruz Tabani, who I actually heard may have actually received his visa, is easily a top 10 guy at the 2024 Mr. Olympia competition. So we're looking at HorseMD, also a Melu. So we're looking at HorseMD here, who is also an athlete from the Milo Sarshev camp. I want to take a look to see if he's actually improved enough to really come in and, win a pro show, because that was one of the things that we saw last year. A lot of hype around this guy. A really impressive physique overall, I would say, especially from the front. Not so much from the back. That's definitely an area that he needs to improve. Of course, he's doing some back training here. I'm also going to put this entire video in the description below for you guys. But the question around HorseMD is, we know that he can get shredded. We know that he can get lean. He's really got that classic look that he brings to the open class without being, extremely outsized here. When he stood next to Samson, when he stood next to Behruz, did not look outsized by any means. He could certainly use more size, don't get me wrong. But one of the questions is the back. We don't get any actual back shots here. He doesn't hit a back double. He doesn't hit a back lat spread. But from just what we can see here, are we seeing improvements in the back yet? He needed more width. He needed more depth. He really needed to improve that. It was easily his weakest muscle group. It was very well known. And from what I'm seeing here, I don't think that he's made substantial improvements to the back as of yet. Now, we're really not going to know until he hits some shots, and of course we see how dialed in that midsection is again, see about that illusion of bodybuilding taking place. But man, I don't know. I'm just not seeing it right now. Now, if HorseMD can bring up his back to match his front shots, to match his side shots, I mean, this is a guy that is definitely a pro show winner. But you gotta have those back shots locked in this day and age of bodybuilding. Without them, he's going to end up settling for more second, third, fourth place spots when it comes to the pro shows, especially in the lineups these days. He's got to have them. And like I said, as of right now, I don't know if I see the improvements that he really needs to come in and be a pro show winner. In the right lineup? Yeah, absolutely. But making it to the Olympia is one thing. Doing well on the Olympia stage is quite another. So, of course, he hasn't even made it there yet. But you guys let me know if you think that HorseMD has really made the improvements to his back just based on what we're seeing now, and understood that it's really not a fair assessment until we get closer to the show. We see some shots, but right now, I don't know. You guys take a look and let me know what you think. But let's not forget the package that HorseMD did show up with at that Romania Pro. I mean, this blew everybody away. He was the talk of the show, there's no question. The conditioning factor was spot on. If he can have this level of conditioning moving forward at any show he goes and competes in, this is enough to win a pro show. He can really go up against anybody out there. I mean, look at the hamstrings, the glutes. I mean, it's all there. There's no question. Even the back lat spread here, it's not his worst shot. The back double is definitely his worst. He has a decent back lat spread, I would say. And a lot of that has to do with the conditioning that he does have in the hamstrings and the glutes. The balance here doesn't look too bad. He's even got striations in the triceps here, you guys. This guy was super fucking lean. Incredible. But what it comes down to is, look, see, he doesn't even hit the back double. Maybe it's because he forgot in this show. Maybe it's because he knows that it's his absolute worst shot. He needs more width, more depth. He needs to bring up that back. But he does have 12 weeks to go, and I am very optimistic that we will see the best version of HorseMD at the Romania Pro 2024. You guys let me know what you think about what we're seeing so far. Do you think that he brought up that back enough to really come in and win that show? Of course, it depends on the lineup as well. Who's going to show up to get that early Olympia qualification? But this really is exciting. I think that HorseMD is a future breakout star in the IFBB, as long as he brings up his back. All right, moving on here to Mr. Vintage Genetics himself, Wesley Vissers. And we talked about Wesley earlier this week as well, but I just had to bring this up again because I saw something in Wesley here that is a telltale sign of absolutely insane conditioning. The death face. Of course, the death face. Wesley has the death face in full force, ladies and gentlemen. Look at the bags under the eyes, the sunken in cheeks here. And look, we'll take a look at some of his actual shots that he posted up, and it's even more pronounced. So check this out. You can see the sunken in cheeks. Just, man, this guy is extremely lean right now. And he's still got that roundness and fullness, you know, for being 6.5 weeks out of the show. This is a very impressive version of Wesley Vissers here, you guys. He is probably the leanest that we've ever seen at this point. I don't remember seeing Wesley with a death face like this in the past either. It is an absolute full force. This guy might be actually ahead of the game. I don't know how far off he is from the weight cap at this point, but judging from what I'm seeing here, given the fact that he probably did put on a couple more pounds between, you know, the Arnold Classics and the Olympia here, I don't know, you guys. This is getting me more and more optimistic that we are going to see Wesley battling it out with Chris Bumstead, because I don't know if Chris is this lean right now. Not that he has to be, but I mean, for Wesley to be at this point 6.5 weeks out. And you know, the other thing is, you would never know it by listening to this guy talk either. He sounds like he's still on top of the world. He sounds like he still has, you know, 1,000 grams of carbs a day or something like that. He really is extremely dialed in. And that's one of the things I always really liked about Wesley. It's his consistency. You know, he built a world around him that allows him to have that consistency with really very little distractions. And this is a father as well. He has young kids. I think both of them are under like 6 years old, actually. He's a business owner. He owns the gym that he's actually at here. You know, he got a couple new pieces in his gym here recently. And this is another thing. 6 plates that he's got on here. I know it's the Smith machine, mind you, but 6 plates for a flat bench at 6.5 weeks out. I mean, very impressive, you guys. So it still seems like he's dialed into his training. It seems like everything is right on track. Like I said, he seems like he's actually a little bit ahead here. But you guys let me know what you think of some of these shots. I mean, just look at some of these shots. Is this the guy who is going to contend for, we'll say, second place in fairness to Chris Bumstead at this point? But is this the guy that's going to be doing shots up there with Chris Bumstead? Will he be trading shots back and forth with the most dominant champion of classic physique in the history of the division? Forget about Ramon Dino for a second. We haven't seen anything from Ramon to really look at this point. I think this is minimum your second place finisher. And when he really does hit that stage, especially having Stefan behind him, boss of Outlaw, for a coach, you guys, you can't help but be encouraged by this. You cannot help but continue to ask the question, will this be the future classic physique Olympia champion? You guys let me know what you think about that in the comments below. But man, I love seeing the death face, and we are seeing it here, like I said, absolutely in full force.
Some days we're moving slower than others.
All right, last up here, you guys, Derek dropped another update on his YouTube channel at 6.5 weeks out of the Olympia. I'm going to leave the full video in the description below for you guys. But I'm telling you, this guy is starting to suffer. You can actually hear it in his voice. I'm going to show you guys a clip here in a minute. But you can tell that Derek really is going to a place that I don't think that he's been before when it comes to this level of prep. He really wants to solidify himself as that Olympia champion, because I've said it many times. You win one Olympia, yeah, you're definitely the Olympia champion. There's no question there. But if you really want to solidify yourself as a true champion of the Olympia, and I really do believe this, you want to be solidified as a true champion, gotta win too. Now, that's not to take away from some of the greats of the sport that we know, Dexter Jackson, Hadi Chupin, not saying that these guys are not legit champions. I'm not saying that at all, so don't jump at me in the comment section over that or anything. But you win that too, and it really does just solidify you as being a very dominant champion, when it comes to the Olympia stage. And I think that Derek is really putting in everything that he can and more. Like, I feel like he went to Hani Rambod and just said, Hani, I want to suffer more than I have ever suffered for a bodybuilding prep. Let me show you guys a clip of just how Derek's sounding right here. He sounds like he's knocking on death's door, man.
Some days we're moving slower than others. But you know what, man? Every day is a great day. And every day is a great day to get better.
Still got that motivation anyway. You still got that motivational talk, so that's always something.
This is the part that I really like about prepping. Getting peeled, and all the work's coming together, and the grind is getting harder. Gets me excited because I'm like, man, not too many people doing this at this level. Definitely levels to this, and it's like every year I want to embrace the suck and the grind and the suffer more and more.
And this is what I wanted to see out of Derek. I wanted to see that level of suffering, because when you get to that level of suffering, man, it is not long after that you really start seeing the drastic changes in the physique. And look, I'm going to be completely honest with you guys. Up until now, I wasn't completely confident that Derek could come in and actually win that second title. Especially after seeing some of the updates from Samson Dauda and Hadi Chupin. I mean, Derek does look impressive here, don't get me wrong. But Samson and Hadi really do look like they're just maybe a little bit further along. But neither of those guys, I think, are really, truly suffering as of yet. And like I said, I think that we are at the point where we will start to see drastic changes from our current open Mr. Olympia Derek Lunsford. I think the changes are coming, and I am just that little bit more confident that Derek will come in and defend his Olympia title. Up until now, I really wasn't that confident. I'm going to be honest with you guys. But from what I'm seeing here, I think that the mentality is changing for Derek Lunsford. And I think that he knows that he really needs to put his nose to the grindstone and just get it done. He's never been a stranger to hard work, obviously, He's the Olympia champion. He's won the 212 Olympia. He's won the Open Olympia. But now I'm starting to see the suffering. And that is a key component when it comes to being the absolute best in the world. I really do believe that you need to suffer in order to get to that level where you can come in and be not only at your best, but really show drastic improvements. So look, I want to hear from you guys in the comments section. Do you think that Derek Lunsford will come in and defend his Olympia title here? Does this level of suffering inspire any more confidence for you guys in particular to think that Derek will come in and win that second title? Now, I certainly haven't made my predictions as of yet, but I do have Derek in my top 3. There's no question there. As time goes on, we're going to start having those conversations. We're going to start bumping up the podcasts. We're going to start seeing what all of your favorite YouTubers and athletes really think about who will make that top 5 at the Olympia and who will ultimately be our champion. So I'm going to wrap up the video right there, you guys. Again, thank you everybody for tuning in. Really appreciate all you guys being here. Thank you for tuning in to EP09. Be sure to like and subscribe.